There are stories that begin not with a flame, but with a heart that has quietly cooled over years. And this one begins with a firefighter named Caleb. A man once filled with steady faith, but wearied by life, loss, and unanswered prayers. He had walked away from the God he once trusted, telling himself the silence meant abandonment, though deep inside he carried a longing he could not name. Caleb moved through his days with practiced calm, helping strangers while ignoring the unresolved ache within him. On the morning the call came through the station speakers, he had no idea that his life, shaped by routine and burden, was about to collide with something he had forgotten how to believe in. Flames had erupted in an old two-story house on the edge of town, smoke rising in thick columns, neighbors shouting that a child was still inside. Caleb and his team rushed toward the scene, heat trembling in the air as they pulled on their gear, the rumble of engines cutting through the panic. Caleb had entered burning structures many times before, but that day the smoke felt heavier, darker, almost alive as it curled around his mask and pressed him toward the floor. He pushed deeper, moving low, sweeping his flashlight through swirling ash, calling for any sign of life while distant cracking beams warned of collapse. The radio crackled with orders, but each direction came through distorted and unclear, and for the first time in years, Caleb felt something close to fear tugging at his chest. The structure groaned under the strain of fire, and visibility dropped to almost nothing as suffocating smoke thickened around him. He was about to turn back to reposition when something impossible happened, something that made him freeze in place, unsure whether he had imagined it. Through the roar of flames and falling debris, a faint melody drifted toward him, a thin thread of sound threading its way through smoke like a whisper of another world. It was a hymn he had not heard since childhood, sung to him by a mother now gone, a song that once soothed his restless nights. The melody rose again, fragile yet steady, echoing through the burning hallway as though carried on breath alone. Caleb's pulse quickened, not with fear but with recognition, and the sound pierced through years of doubt with a clarity that made his knees weaken. He followed it without hesitation, turning left toward a back corridor where heat pressed like a living thing against his gear. The hymn wavered, humming in the smoke, and though he could not make out words, he felt each note imprint itself onto the hollow spaces of his heart. The building shuddered as he crawled across fallen beams, sweeping debris aside until he reached a small bedroom whose door was warped by heat. The song grew clearer, sweeter, trembling through the haze. Caleb pushed the door open and found a little girl curled beneath a collapsed dresser, eyes wide, lips trembling as she continued humming the hymn as if clinging to something she could not see. She froze when she saw him, tears caught in the shimmer of smoke. But Caleb reached out with a steady hand and spoke with a calm he had not known in years. The building groaned above them, and he lifted the dresser enough to free her small frame, wrapping her in his turnout coat as he shielded her from falling sparks. The hymn slipped from her lips into silence, but Caleb still felt its echo moving through the corridors like a guide urging them out. As he carried her toward the exit, more beams cracked and fell, and smoke pressed against them with suffocating force. Yet every time Caleb hesitated, he felt a pull, a nudge, an instinct not from training but from something beyond logic. He pressed forward until a burst of fresh air struck his mask, sunlight cutting through smoke as firefighters rushed to assist, pulling the girl into waiting arms. Caleb collapsed to his knees, lungs burning, heart pounding with something far deeper than exhaustion. Paramedics wrapped her in blankets, and when one asked her how she stayed so calm inside the burning house, she whispered that someone had been singing with her the whole time, even when she felt alone. Caleb stared at her, stunned, because he knew without question that the voice she heard was not his. In the quiet aftermath, as hoses hissed and charred beams crumbled, Caleb felt the old hymn return to him, not as memory, but as invitation. A reminder that the God he had abandoned had never abandoned him. That night, standing beneath a sky washed clean by smoke and water, he He let the song rise again in his mind, no longer resisting the presence he once pushed away. Slowly, with trembling certainty, he prayed for the first time in years, not with perfect words, but with an open heart. In saving the child, he realized something deeper had been saved within him, something he thought long extinguished. Fire had threatened to consume a home, yet from its smoke emerged a melody strong enough to awaken belief in a weary soul. And Caleb carried that truth with him from that moment onward, walking back into his life with renewed light. Welcome, dear friend. This is Faith Light Stories, where every story reminds us that God never leaves us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as the story draws to a close, I hope you carry its warmth into your own journey, remembering that even in moments filled with smoke and fear, you are never abandoned. If this story touched you, share your thoughts below. Your words might be the hymn someone else needs to hear today. May you walk with renewed courage, renewed faith, and a heart open to quiet miracles waiting in the shadows.